Today on The Young and the Restless, Nikki hires a new assistant. Nate and Adam hold a candid conversation, and Sally can't tell Nick she's in love with him. At the club, Adam greets Nate as boss and tells him he took the liberty of ordering his coffee. Nate warns him about his attitude and says he asked him there to set some ground rules and expectations. Adam snarks that Nate must be in heaven, having this much power over him must be intoxicating. Nate questions why he's okay with this arrangement. Adam says it's his own doing. He told his father he wanted to start at the bottom. He let Victor decide how to handle it. Nate makes it clear this wasn't his choice. Adam knows that, but he's grateful for this opportunity. Nate smirks. Adam insists he's ready to go to work. Nate isn't buying this for a second. Adam guesses Nate believes his desire to change isn't real. Nate sees this as the only way for him to get back into the company after he screwed up. Adam argues that's why he told Victor he was willing to come back in at the bottom. He wants to be at Newman for personal and professional reasons. He serves at the pleasure of whoever is his boss, and right now that's you. Nate agrees with Victoria's assessment that Victor's making a mistake by putting him in a position where he'll have access to key company information. You know that information is power. Adam wonders if he thinks he'll be gathering company secrets. Nate trusts him about as much as Victoria does, which is not at all. He informs Adam he'll handle only menial office tasks. He'll hire another assistant he can trust to handle the other information. Adam warns that Victor will shut this down. It violates the spirit of the agreement. He warns Nate this could seriously cost him. Victoria approaches Victor with a smile in the Newman office. He's wary. Victoria claims she wants to make peace and is tired of fighting. Victor's glad to hear it, but is surprised. Victoria knows he must be disappointed in her attitude. She's thought long and hard about this situation, and she's made a decision about the future. Victor says Nick told him she's been questioning his fitness to run the company. Victoria claims Nick is exaggerating and that his moves have been erratic. She realizes his coming back has nothing to do with her performance. Victor asks how she thinks this became a fractured work environment. They agree it began with the acquisition of Ashland Locke's company. Then McCall tore their family apart instead of pulling it together. Victoria says there's only one common denominator in all of this: Adam. Victor complains that Victoria is right back to scapegoating Adam. Victoria argues if she had stepped out of line as often as Adam has, he would never forgive him. Victor says he's never been given the benefit of the doubt. Victoria snipes that she's tired of Victor making the same mistake where her brother's concerned. Victor will no longer discuss him with her mother, or her brother. He's my son. I have faith in him. Victoria says he's only going to disappoint you. She's sure he has some kind of agenda in play, and no one can keep him in line. No one can, Dad. Not even you. If he's asking her to give Adam another chance, she'll accept and support that. Victor notes she's folding too easily and asks what's going on. Perfect scheme team. Sally and Adam from The Young and Restless are made for each other. In Sally's suite, Nick is watching her sleep when a knock comes at the door. It's room service with a breakfast tray. In the bed, Sally dreams that she is making out with Adam outside her suite door when Nick walks up and catches them in the act. She awakens and sighs. Spotting Nick eating breakfast, she says, "Good morning." Nick brings her orange juice and says he felt like spoiling her. She warns she could get used to it. Sally thought he had work to do. He'd rather be with her and suggests they give up their businesses and live off love. Sally teases they might wear each other out pretty quickly. She doesn't think they'd last more than a week without a purpose. Nick tells her how much he missed her on his trip. It hurt being away from her. "I love you, Sally. More than I ever thought possible." She tells him he's sweet. Nick wonders if she's going to say she's falling in love with him too. Sally loves him very much. Nick notes, "But not in love with me." "Not yet," Sally says. "It's not you." Nick sighs. Sally says she's been through so much emotional and romantic turmoil that her heart can't get there yet. Nick gets it. Sally says, "You're amazing. How could I not love you?" If she can't fall in love with him, what does that say about her? Nick doesn't want to pressure her. They kiss. Nick teases, "I could take it back." Sally says, "Not a chance," and they cuddle. She looks distressed. At society, Nikki tells a woman named Claire that she's happy to meet her. Audra explains they thought they'd meet at one of Genoa City's finest restaurants to show her a bit of the town. Claire loves the place, it's so hip. Nikki asks, who is Claire Grace? And the woman says she's been working hard since the age of 12. Her primary focus was always marketing and business. Nikki's impressed by her schooling, but she doesn't have a lot of corporate experience. Claire says she did a lot of bartending to keep her afloat. She wants to be in business, she wants to work for the best. Newman dominates and Newman Media is already a powerhouse. Claire explains she's excited to see how McCall fits into Newman Media. She feels Audra must have a lot of thoughts on it given she used to work there. After stroking Nikki's ego a bit, Claire is asked what brings her to Genoa City. Claire says Chicago is great, but the chaos of big city life isn't for her. She's originally from a smaller town in Oregon and prefers a place that's more real and honest. Nikki asks why she looked at Wisconsin. Claire had a college friend that was from Genoa City. She spent a couple of summers here with her. Nikki asks, what's her name? Claire says Sophia Carmichael. Nikki knows her family. Audra asks how her family feels about her being so far away. Claire says her parents were killed in a car accident when she was young, and she was raised by her great-aunt, who still lives in Oregon. Nikki finds Claire smart and interesting. Audra asks Claire to give them a moment, so she steps away. Audra asks what Nikki thinks. Nikki says she's green, but she gets a good feeling from her. Audra agrees, she's smart and has done her homework. At the club, Nate tells Adam his aim is to protect Newman Enterprises. He believes Adam is capable of just about anything. Disruption is your forte. Adam reminds him he blackmailed his own family when it suited his needs. Adam claims his failed plans were a wake-up call. He's capable and can handle this job. Nate's belief that Adam had changed ended when he tried to blackmail Audra. I don't believe for a second that you can change your nature. Adam will prove it to him then. Nate warns that Victor has a broader agenda. I suspect he's preparing for the worst. That you will use this job to inflict damage on Newman Enterprises. In fact, I believe he put me in this role as a safeguard against you, and I take that very seriously. Adam asks if that's a warning. He thinks Nate is trying to push his buttons and get a reaction. Nate sees this as a chance to open Victor's eyes about Adam. That you're incapable of becoming a good, decent man. Adam says he's changed and Nate can try to undermine him, but it's not going to work. You can't touch me, Nate. Nate says he has a unique ability to ruin things for himself. Adam says, not this time. He's going to keep his head down and his nose clean. I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm not about to give you the satisfaction of thinking you can break me, so don't even try. At Newman, Victoria's turnaround seems very abrupt to Victor. Victoria insists she's put aside her anger and is willing to put aside her feelings about Adam. This company is strong and can survive anything. Victor is glad to hear it. He was beginning to feel their relationship was becoming untenable. Victoria asks what he would have done in that case. Victor would have fired her, and if things go there again, he still might. In Sally's suite, she asks if Nick is busy for the rest of the day. He has Kirsten business and his dad wants to meet for lunch. Sally's going to be busy for the next few hours, but she wondered if he'd join her in the park for lunch. Nick says that's a better offer and asks if he can bring anything. He senses she's up to something. Sally will only say, maybe. Nick nuzzles her. At Newman, Victoria tells her father that he's made himself crystal clear. Victor takes a call from Nick, saying he can't make it to lunch. He has other important plans. Victor disconnects and Victoria guesses Nick's dodging him too. He must be suspicious of your motives. Victor grunts, whatever. In Sally's suite, Nick notes that his father doesn't like when things don't go his way. Sally suggests he show his father that he still loves him. Nick calls Victor back and suggests they meet at the end of the day for a drink. Victor agrees. He'd like that very much. At Society, Audra thanks Claire for giving them a moment. Nikki is pleased to offer her the job. Claire promises she won't let them down and thanks them. I can't wait to get started. Audra tells her to let them know if she needs anything. Nikki says, we'll see you at the office. Claire leaves. Audra notes that Nikki seems to enjoy taking on a mentoring role. Nikki does, but if a prodigist slows her down or gets in her way, forget about it. Audra assumes she's not just talking about Claire. Nikki sniffs. You assume correctly. Nate and Adam pop into Victor's office. Adam tells his father that he and Nate have come to an understanding. Victor's pleased. Victoria remains tight-lipped. Victor declares, "Your sister has come around, you've come in line, and I'm where I belong." Adam and Victoria exchange a glance. Victoria files out for a meeting and Adam leaves to go to his office after thanking Nate for taking the time to meet with him. Victor asks Nate what his meeting with Adam was like. Nate says he claims to be genuine about putting his best foot forward. Victor thinks they're all falling into line far too easily. In the corridor, Victoria tells Adam she doesn't know why he gets an office. He should be in a cubicle like the other assistants. Adam says if it was up to her, he'd be in the janitor's closet. Victoria snipes that if it were up to her, he wouldn't be there. Adam notes it's not up to her because she lost her seat in the big chair yet again. That must sting, to be dethroned and defeated. Victoria says she's not buying his whole turnaround thing, not for 1 second. When he starts to show his true colors again, Nate will be there to bust him. Adam snarks, right, because Nate has never broken a rule in his life. He's not buying her act either. There is not way she's accepted losing her job to their father. You are the one he really needs to worry about, and the moment you begin to show your true colors, I'm going to be happy to nail you to the wall. Victoria narrows her eyes at him and refuses to share the elevator with him. Adam waves bye-bye. In the park, Sally sets up a picnic, but stops to think about her dream earlier in which Nick catches her and Adam making out. She says, "Nick, it's not what you think." Adam says it actually is and that she's in love with him, not you. Nick fumes, "Is that why you couldn't say it back to me?" He accuses her of using him and carrying on with his brother. You've never let him go. Just then, Nick walks up to Sally in the park and asks if she's okay. She blurts, "Adam kissed me."